Well, good evening and welcome to this special Island Stat Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and I'm joined by the Keeb Tolbert from Crossroads and Croatian coach, Andro. We're here to talk about youth development. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for taking the time out to explain what the process for not only young people, but also for coaches, because I think it's important that coaches develop every day and learn more each and every day. So Andrew, let me just ask you if you can just give us a brief synopsis of your journey.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. First of all, to you, Earl, and to Takib, and everyone who is listening to us or will listen to us. So my journey, basically, born and raised in Croatia. I think today everyone knows about this country that's only about 30 something years old. Was founded in 90s after Yugoslavia break apart, that big country that probably everyone knows uh, from before. And obviously we have some football tradition. So that's how me as well started training football when I was a kid, 5 years old, and then when I was 18, I took my opportunity to go be a student athlete in the United States. I spent basically 5 years in the USA, being playing college soccer, and that's where my journey also of coaching started. I started really early when I was 19. I already knew that my professional career of soccer player won't go so high because of some of my limits, physical limits. So basically, I started when I was 19 to this little transition, how to move into the coaching part, as I really loved football. So yes, my first kind of coaching opportunities started in the USA with some kind of like local clubs, and then I moved back to Croatia where I worked for about 2.5 years with the top Croatian academy, Dinamo Zagreb, at that time, and it was also one of maybe 6, 7 top European academies because it was producing a huge amount of players through their own development process. So some of those that you probably know are like Luka Modric, Mateo Kovacic, Dejan Lovren, and Joško Gvardiol, for example, who I was coaching for about a year. The Manchester City player at this moment. So basically, after that, I went to do my master degree in the Germany, in the German Sports University. I also coached in some clubs there. Journey took me to Poland. I was coach of U17 team, and then after that, when I was 28, I got the opportunity to be a director of development in Hajduk Split, which was my job from 2019 to 2022. And then last year, for 1 year, I'm working in NK Istra, which is first division club of Croatia, and I'm serving as in the role of director of development as well, which is basically a club that's owned by Deportivo Alaves La Liga team from the Spanish first division. And this is where I am now. So basically, my 80-90% of my journey as a coach was development. I was actually a sports director for six months. So this is something a little bit more competitive, a little bit further away from development. So yeah, my whole let's say life is so far my football life is about how to uh, how to make process of development each day better and better.
Sure. Well, to keep, let me ask you from the standpoint of Crossroads. I know you guys would have brought him in, to work with your coaches. But how important is it for someone like you, who's a youth technical director? You've managed young people for quite some time at the club. But how important is it that the coaches get the messages that the players are getting to help everyone grow together?
Yeah, good evening, Earl. Good question. Very good question. It's very important for coaches to get that education because they're the first, not the first message, but the message that the players hear more often than not. Week in, week out, they're the individuals who are working with the players, they're developing the players, they're teaching the players. So if the instruction is not correct, you can take a player who may have potential, and then that player receive the wrong instruction, and therefore they don't reach their potential. And again, in Bermuda, we have so many talented footballers, so many talented athletes across all genres. I just happen to work within the football genre, so that's our main focus. So player development, coach education starts there because again the instruction has to be correct. We want to get players to where they're able to realize their potential, whether it be local football, senior football, whether it be in the semi-pro game, junior college, over the UK, US, wherever it may be. We want to give them the necessary skill set that when they get that opportunity, that they can be able to seize that opportunity. So that's really what we're focused on and trying to bring to fruition. And that's why we're partnering with Andro to try to make sure that we're giving the correct instruction to our coaches, so that therefore they can be able to deliver the correct instruction to our players over and over and over on a weekly and a consistent basis.
Sure, sure. Andrew, from your experiences, one of the things that um, we know, people have strong minds and opinions on the way they do things, and they feel the way they do it is correct. However, in sports, it's always a learning curve for everyone, whether you're winning or losing, it goes hand in hand. Getting a message across to someone who believes they've been doing it right all this time, to then give them some more tips and guidance on how to improve on their, how do you go about that task?
That's amazing question. It's about it's about the man management, about it's about social intelligence, emotional intelligence. It's about also empathy. You have to first get to someone and try to explain him that like you want to help him. It's the same as it's a very similar like a coach player relation and
Mhm.
coach director relation. Like you have to play that role. So it's obviously a little bit different because these are kids and these are adult people who already went through some experiences. So what you need to know first is like what kind of experiences they had, to see if they had some good or bad. Try to find a way to explain them that you understand they had maybe a bad experience or some very good experience. For example, the hardest is to explain to some coach who was maybe result wise successful, that
Mhm.
maybe he's not doing the right thing if it comes to development, because he
Right.
has a result and he believes this is the holy grail of if I'm good or if I'm bad. While in the development, it can be actually completely different. So to answer your question is a very hard, absolutely. So the only thing what you can do is try to try to improve your points with as many as possible objective informations. So in football, it's not that easy like it's in the math or in the stats or in the IT, let's say, industry. But football science is getting stronger and stronger all around the world. Like place where I did my master degree in Germany, Germans are very orientated on the science in football. It's they try to prove everything they are saying with some kind of evidence,
Mhm.
comparison, so on and so on. And there is always possibility. There is always possibility. It's all about how much you think about football, how much you are ready to spend the time on football, and then if you have a good points, people will listen to you. So just
Sure.
try to go as deep as possible.
Yeah. Um, you're here again. You're also doing an ID camp. Um, Take us through what an ID camp looks like for you from your standpoint, because As you, I don't know if you would have known, but we've had a lot of ID camps in Bermuda for our young people. But everybody's view of an ID camp is a little different. The end result is you want to pick the best players, or the people that you believe has the most talent, or could have the most talent. So give us your opinion of what you're looking for from the standpoint as an ID camp.
It's a question for me.
Yes.
Okay. So from an ID point, obviously, I believe that before I was coming here, I spoke a lot with Tahib and some other people from Bermuda that are connected to the Bermudian, let's say, football process. And for me, I think it's a very interesting place because it has a lot of macro level variables that should be successful in football. There is a lot of sunny days. There is a lot of let's say places where kids can play football. There is a interesting mix of the races. There is a good organization. There is at the end there is a financials that can help towards this. Okay, a little bit location is interesting because you're in the middle of the ocean, but it's I mean today in this globalized world, it's a less and less problem. So what was interesting for me, it's to come here and to understand a bit deeper about it. When we talk about ID, we try to ID means identify.
Mhm.
So I don't believe like I'm gonna identify a player who's, let's say, 17, 18 years old here, and I'm gonna say, hey, come over to Europe and you're gonna play for us. I think
Mhm.
that's a wrong, that won't happen. But what we can identify is especially the kids, from 6 to let's say 15 years old, who has some potential.
Right.
And then from my standpoint is like in this coaching education that I'm giving as well, is like how to help these kids to develop their potential to the maximum that
Mhm.
Bermuda as a holistic place can give them. And obviously maybe at some point during the year they can come as an individual or they can come as a team to Europe, see how much more they need, how much more there is for them to put effort in to maybe have a chance to play football on a professional level one day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we just want to identify potential and try to give informations what to do with these kids in this environment, so these kids just have opportunity to become what their potential, what they are born with. Let's
Okay.
put it like this. And this, I think it's like a goal of every human being. Try to
Mm.
find what someone can be the best in it and let it bloom. So
Sure.
this is whole idea of the ID camp.
Yeah. Okay. The key, let me ask you, because it's important that you would have said to parents, we're having Andro come to Bermuda. We're gonna have an ID camp and so forth, but keeping the parents grounded, because you know how some parents think, oh, should be or she should be taken and so forth. What message did the club have for the parents to make sure that they come and bring their kid in the right frame of mind to go through this process?
So, and that's a good question, Andrew, because expectations is very important, so that kids could go into the right mind frame. Parents can understand what to expect, and so forth and so on. So, and just to piggyback on what Andrew mentioned, is that at the end of the day, it's about going into an environment, being able to get instruction from an individual or individuals that knows what's required at a certain level, because ultimately most times the footballers in Bermuda, they want to reach that certain level, whatever that certain level may be. Yeah, ultimately it's going to be played somewhere in Europe as a professional. Most of them won't make it. some may.
Right.
So can we bring someone in to identify certain traits that will allow them to be successful later on in life? So at the end of the day, it wasn't about trying to promise them the world. It's about, okay, well, can we put you in front of a set of eyes, a set of experienced eyes, and a set of eyes that can help that kid reach their potential. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, we have, I'm a parent as well. I have 3 kids, yeah, and they play football. But we have to understand is that there are certain levels. The highest level is, we say EPL, World Cup, whatever, whichever it may be. But there are other levels that are certainly definitely attainable. And definitely attainable for most local footballers who have the ability. Is college football, and the US. So if we can get most of our players and parents understanding that this is attainable, and the ones who are high level, there are opportunities there. Like again, Andrew mentioned, is that he can identify individuals who have the potential to go into an academy and be able to play and compete. Those individuals will definitely be identified and be provided those opportunities. So that's no doubt. Those individuals who may not be able to, then we can provide the training and the information that say, you know what, okay, well, maybe we can place you somewhere else where you can still get that opportunity to reach your potential. So we tell parents, keep your options open. Yeah, just because something that doesn't happen right away doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And who knows, it may never happen. But at the same time, is that the qualities that you learn on the football pitch are transferable in life. That's why sports are important. I firmly believe that sports, every kid should play sport if they have the opportunity to do so. Because at the teamwork, hard work, determination, being able to overcome a challenge, these are transferable skills anywhere in life, any private sector. And it's important. I work in IT. I troubleshoot for a living. This is what we do, and the ability to think through a problem is crucial. And those players who can think through a problem on the football pitch, they will be more successful. So again, it's not necessarily about it's a golden ticket, but it's an opportunity to gauge where you're at and then see what you need to do to take you that 1, 2, and maybe 1 step, and maybe 2 steps, maybe 5, maybe 10 steps. Yeah. Right. But ultimately, it's important to get eyes so we can get a gauge of where we're at.
Right. Andro, you mentioned when you opened that Croatia's still a baby in the world kind of thing, still new. The landscape of football there, can you just explain how that's come about? I mean, because you have so many big names around the world coming out of that country, and you've proven in the World Cup, pushover.
Yeah. Okay, we'll probably need another hour, to go into this. I'll try to be short as I can. So basically, even before we got our country we had, let's say, 1995. Before that, we were part of Yugoslavia that had a really strong football culture. So that's important to know. It didn't just start in '95. So when we got independence as a country in '98, we had played that. We made kind of first major success. We were third in the world, like a country that has 4 million people, just got independence. We got third in the world, like award, and this, right, created the trickle down effect. Like all the kids wanted to play football. So the pool was actually pretty big. Basically, every male kid wanted to play football. So right, you can understand that. Sometimes, okay, there's countries like who are maybe now behind us, like, I don't know, USA, like 300 million people, but it's not really that everyone is playing football. So you cannot compare it to that. Second thing, we also have a lot of sunny days, so we play that. But we had I believe one of the biggest reasons for success was that many we have tradition of playing a street football.
Wow.
And this is, I think, very, very important. We had some tradition from these old days that everyone played the football in front of schools, in front of their apartment buildings where they live, and so on. And this was before this new era of tablets, PlayStation, everything. I spent like 3-4 hours just playing street football, where you need to survive. You play against older kids, younger kids, this, that. Second thing, there is a maybe girl who you like, she's watching at you in the stands. You have to prove yourself. It's a now or never. And the football is also sometimes now or never. You miss a PK, no one likes you.
Sure.
You miss a PK there, she goes with another guy. So all this created like a really good culture for development. And then there was an add-on that, for example, Croatia started also strong with this like kind of development academies. I would say even before some other countries in Europe, and so we made a like kind of a difference at some point, and now we are still running on that wave that we are surfing, because there is always someone. For example, there was, I don't know if you remember, Davor Šuker, Zvone Boban, these kind of players who like I was looking as a kid. And then Luka Modric, let's say, who is now, everyone knows him, he was looking them. So he was dreaming how to become something like that. And then now new kids are watching Luka Modric and they want to become him. So there was always this kind of trickle-down effect that was a wave that we are still surfing. If we lose that wave, we're going to have a problem on 4 million people. But still, we got it. And then it helped. Sunny day, a lot of sunny days, street football. Croatia was not so economically strong country. So when you look from a standpoint of football was like a, how to say this, football was like a way out of getting of poverty. If your family were poor, through football you can become rich.
Right.
Not if you finish a college degree, it wasn't still that simple. There was nepotism, there was many things that would stop you from doing it. But football pitch, you're good or you're not good. It's simple. So okay, now we have a better economic situation in our country. More and more kids have tablets, PlayStation, so it's taking a focus away from them. So I think we might have some problems in the future, but still we are surfing that wave that was created, let's say, about 25 years ago, and so far it's looking good. We'll see what's going to be in the future.
Sure. To keep, how long have you guys been working with the group in preparation for Andro's arrival, to make sure that they were equipped with the basics needed?
So are you referring to the group of players, or are you referring to how long
players
working together?
Yeah, the players.
Well, the players in the camp, they've come from different clubs, different areas. So again, it's an amalgamation of different players. So some of the players come from our club, some players from different clubs. So it isn't just one group of players that we're working with. It's just it's a group of players. So so I can't really say how long we'll be working with the group, because it goes from all different players, from different teams.
All right. So Andro, I'm coming back to you, because in the short space of time that you had with these players, similarities, differences between the Bermuda players that you've seen and Croatian players at the age in which you have them now. Give us a sense of what you feel are the similarities or the differences.
Okay. I mean, where to start? First of all, like I can see there is a very good genetics. The kids are very, how to say, they have a potential to be fast. They have a potential to be strong, etc. What is the main difference? I would say is it's kind of football culture. So from a standpoint, I believe, let's say if you have a 10-year-old kid, Croatian kid, and 10-year-old Bermudian kid, amount of hours that they watched football on the TV, on the stands, watching, let's say, his dad, his brother playing football or so on, I think it's times 10 for the Croatian kids. It's just because of culture in our country is like football is everywhere. It's there. Here, it's I feel it's not like this. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like it's not it. So this is something that creates a difference, and this can only be changed in a positive way. Let's say for Bermudan football, and it could be, I believe, because when I drive with a Hib around, I see like every house has like a pitch, yard, goals. There is pitches also everywhere. So they're not so good pitches, which is something that has to come maybe from maybe even a government or something, like some kind of artificial pitches or better quality pitches for the kids. Because, kids today, I was thinking a lot about this in Croatia as well, and now it's getting better. For example, in Croatia, I told you we played a lot of street football. But like 20 years ago, we will play anywhere. On like a bad cement, doesn't matter, you'll fall down, you'll be all bloody, but you'll still play. That was the only way to do it. Today, he can go play PlayStation, he can go play tennis, he can be on the skateboard or something. He's going somewhere where the kid is going somewhere where first, he won't be hurt. Second, he's going to have more fun. And things like that. What is taking his focus away? So we as a football, we had in Croatia problem with the infrastructure as well. Now it's getting better. We were missing gyms. We were missing good surface. Now we have more and more artificial turf. Like UEFA is investing, country is investing, our football federation is investing, and now kids are little by little coming back on the pitches. Because why he would go on the bad cement, fall down, be all bloody? Now, when he has artificial pitch, it looks all nice and green. They're coming back. They want to play. It's same here. Without investment, it's going to be very hard. When you invest, when you create some kind of events, when you create someone they will be looking for, then kids are going to start playing by themselves. And that's absolutely like a biggest difference when I look in I cannot say it's a negative way. It's just a way. It's a main difference. But from the standpoint of something, let's say a positive, is I think there is a huge potential because so many like a land, so many kind of pitches that can be basically in front of every house. Second thing, beautiful weather. Just you can. It gets rainy, but it's still warm. So you don't have to go inside. It's kind of fun actually to play on the rain. So this is all positive things, and at the end, also this is now I think even proven wherever there is a mix of the races, and I see there are here. There is better genetics, to play any kind of sports. And this is something absolutely interesting, and not only about races, it's about cultures. A lot of mix of the cultures, a lot of different perspectives. So this is I believe a great potential of Bermuda.
Sure. And to keep for you, what are you hoping these youngsters and coaches take from what Andro is offering them to improve themselves both on the field and off the field?
And that's pretty much the a very good question, Andrew. Andrew, sorry, Earl. Because ultimately, that's after this experience for about a week or so, we want the kids to come up with something tangible. All right. What can I do to improve myself? Yeah. What are coaches looking for that I can take into my game that's going to improve me? So ultimately, we say for the player perspective, how can I get better? What are coaches looking for what are coaches looking for out of a player to be able to bring that person in and be able to provide them an opportunity. And a couple of things is that one is the mindset of the player, the intensity of how they play.
Right.
Yeah. The body language is important as well. And a lot of these things in Bermuda, a lot of times is that where we kind of need improvement. Is that when things are not going our way, a lot of times we sulk. A lot of times we come down on ourselves, come down on our teammates. These types of information, these are the little things that make a big difference. Because you can take an average player with a strong mindset, never gives up, works hard, listens to the instructions, follows the coach's game plan, and that average player can look like a good player. A good player who may have the physical ability, may be able to be very technical, but then he may have a poor attitude, poor work rate, is a poor teammate. No, most coaches are not going to be willing to work with him unless he's possessed some exceptional quality, maybe like Messi. But even still, that can only take you so far. So for players to understand from a coach who works in that environment, this is what it takes. You can achieve it, but these are the things that it's going to take to get there. Now, from a coaching perspective, okay, well, these are the things that we need to teach the kids that they need at certain levels. So at a U9 level, okay, well, you need to be able to recognize the difference between a 2v1 or 1v1. U11 level, okay, well, now we need to do bigger group sets. U13 level, this is what we're working on, and so forth and so on. So then when they do, or they eventually do get the opportunity, they can go into that environment and not be too far behind. Yeah. So can they be given a chance to be successful? So as coaches, it's important that the right information is being given at the right time for that player. Meaning that, again, if a kid's at U9, we're not giving them information that a U15 player would have. So, and then can they build upon that as they move up? So that at the U13, they've mastered what they need to master at U9 level. So a lot of times in Bermuda, you get a U13 player who hasn't mastered, when to dribble, when to pass. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. And we see it in senior football on a Sunday. We have players who don't understand when to dribble, when to pass. And that's something that you work on and look to master at U9, U11 level. So again, so as coaches, we need to understand that so that we can deliver and we can give right information to be able to hopefully help these players help themselves and help their families.
Sure. Andro, leave the Bermuda public with your idea of a talented all-round young player that you've seen throughout your career.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Well, just an idea of how would you describe a all-round talented young player, both on and off the field, from your experiences?
Attributes, I guess.
Okay. Look, there is one attribute that it's already crucial for being professional football player, and even if you don't make it as a professional football player, to be, let's say, successful in life and happy and get to your maximums, and that's, you can call it a drive, or you can call it like a lifelong learning. So like being able to wake up in the morning and spend that day to take maximum of what the day gives to you. So without that, the lifespan of the football career is very short. It's getting a little bit longer now, but it's about, let's say you can play professional football from 17 to 37 years old. That's only 20 years. Every year, every month, every day that you miss something, there is someone else on this world, and there is more and more scouts, they won't lose anyone, who will take your path or your chance. So today, if someone gets a crucial ligament injury, that's a 6 to 9 months not playing football.
Yes.
It's a huge gap. It's becoming so huge, unbelievable, especially if it's the youth. So what I'm trying to say, that attribute of drive. That like
Right.
you wake up, that, and very very important, because football is it's an interesting, let's say, job. If it becomes a job, you training 5 days, then you have a game, and then you should have Sunday off to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, if you win on Sunday, you celebrate. If you lose, you don't want to get out of your bed.
Yeah.
Whoever lose the game, and that gap of being sad is making it smaller and smaller, he's
Mhm.
going to succeed. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So being resilient.
Yes.
And not wasting the time, basically, because
Right.
you don't have it. It's not like you start, I don't know, to be a history teacher, so you have until 65 years old and you go to pension to do
Mhm.
it. You have 20 years and everything is in.
Right. Right. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me this evening. We want to wish the program a success. And Andro, we will welcome you back to Bermuda as many times as you possibly
Thank
can.
you.
Come and bring some others with you along to just widen that scope. I mean, because obviously you have a limited amount that you can get in one camp, but if we got multiple guys coming in, we could have multiple camps around the island that would open it up for more. So. Thank you very much, Andro. Takib, thanks. We'll be talking with you guys again sometime soon, okay?
All right, thank you, Earl.
All right. Enjoy your night, folks.
All right, take care, man. Have a good one.
Bye bye.